Hello, today I will be giving a brief explanation about animal defense mechanisms. So to start, there is two types. There is innate immunity and there is acquired immunity. Innate immunity is what each animal is born with, and it is the first barrier against pathogens. It is nonspecific, meaning that it is the same response towards all pathogens that try to enter the body. And there are three types. There is physical, biological, and chemical. Then there is acquired immunity, which is developed over time, and it is specific, meaning that there will be a different response to everything that tries to enter the body. So for physical defense, there is skin, which is the main component. It is the largest organ in the body, and the tight junctions between the epithelial cells is really what keeps anything from entering. Then there's the mucous membranes, which is um, lines your nose and your throat, which prevents any pathogens from being inhaled, essentially. And then there is pH, so there's a very low pH in the stomach acid, which also helps to break down things before it can harm you. Additionally, animals do have the ability to move around, and they tend to have spikes or spines or some other type of physical defense depending on the animal, which also protects them from predators. Then we have biological defense, and there is three main types. There is antimicrobial protein defensin, which essentially kills bacteria and fungi. And then you have macrophages, and those are the main components. So they basically engulf bacterium and eat them through phagocytosis. And additionally, macrophages release cytokines and chemokines, which start the generalized immune response, such as a fever, inflammation, and just really the healing process in general. Then there are mast cells, which secrete histamines, which is the allergen response. So histamines dilate blood vessels to stimulate healing, and they also cause physical responses such as sneezing or coughing, which is a common characteristic or symptom of allergies. Then there are chemical defenses, and so these typically are not in humans. These are more commonly found in amphibians. So there are two types. There are those that secrete toxins, such as the poison dart frog and salamanders that have glands all over their body with toxins. And then there are animals that accumulate toxins through their food, such as monarch butterflies. So the butterflies eat food, eat leaves or something that are toxic, and then say a bird tries to come and eat them when they are in their cocoon stage. The bird would eat them, taste the toxin, throw them up, and then would essentially never eat a cocoon again. And so that's more of like a population control defense mechanism rather than an individual, but it's still very effective. And then there's aposematic coloration. And so that is that typically animals that have some sort of toxin or poison are brightly colored, and that's just like a warning sign for predators to stay away. Then there is acquired immunity, and that is really commonly found in vertebrates only. And so there are two responses. There's the humoral response and the cell-mediated response. And so the humoral response, it basically just happens in the blood. And so the first step is an antigen enters the body, and then the helper T cell recognizes the shape of the antigen, and that sets off a series of responses. So first there are B lymphocyte cells that create antibodies that mark antigens for destruction, whether that be through macrophages or through the killer T cells, which I'll get to in a second. But then there are also the memory B cells, which record the shape of the antibodies and the antigens, and those memory B cells stay in your body forever. So that way, if you were ever to encounter that disease again, you would have a pre-mediated fight response essentially. And so that's what vaccines are, is they introduce that shape or a similar shaped antigen into the body so that your memory B cells can record that and be effective in killing it off later. Then there is the cell mediated response. And so those are the cytotoxic T cells, which are white blood cells that kill off any of the infected cells that have the antigen in them. And that is animal defense mechanisms. Thank you.